This pivot here, it was higher than this pivot here. This is why it's called a higher high, higher high. Down on the bottom, it's called lower low. Okay, you had a little small one here. This could have been a lower low, but it wasn't. But the purpose of the moving averages is that profit is being made when the candlesticks are moving away from the moving average. So when it starts turning around and it comes back, if it gets too far away from the moving average, then the probability of it turning around is greater. Once it comes back down towards the 8 and the 20 comes in between, that's when you might want to get in it. Now it's done crossed over this 20, so you know it's in a downward trend. There's no reason to even get in it. It's in a downward trend. Now it starts getting back up to the 8 and it's crossing over. That's the time to get into that trade. So that's one of the things that they talk about in futures, and I'm starting to see it more with the options as well. I mean, I look at Charles River, and I mean, it's just been trending up, trending up, trending up, trending up, trending up. Let me go to another. This right here, here you go again. Here you go, pivot. And another thing that it actually does when these candlesticks turn into like these pivots, these pivot lows, this actually becomes like a demand zone. And we don't have to get so deep into that, but it comes like a demand zone. So it's got some support down here. So it might not come down as far as it is. So here you got another low, a higher low. So it's higher than this one. So it's steady trending up, another higher low, higher than this one, steady trending up. That makes sense, or?
Yeah. Hey, so when is that, what that pink line represents?
This is the 50 moving average.
Okay.
The 8 moving average, the 20 moving average, the 50 moving average. You might want to use Bollinger Bands. Just in from the training that I had, the moving averages, their thought process is as if the candlesticks are moving away from the moving average or staying on top of this 8, it's trending up. It's profit being made. Once it comes below that, that's when it's trending down. So you're following the trend with these moving averages and the candlesticks. So, because as they say, the chart tells a story. I mean, you have some, for example, let me take a look at this. This is American Eagle. It's just been steady trending. It came down for a minute, came below the 8 and the 10, 8 and the 20, but it never even, the 8 never came below it. So it never really had a serious downward trend. It's steady going up, steady going up.
Hey, Jeff.
Yeah.
It may be a little bit further in your presentation, but can you touch on a little bit more on support and resistance? The last month, I really been focusing on support and resistance as my, of course, I've been buying calls and puts lately, and I've been riding them up and riding them back down with a put. But
so you've been buying calls?
Huh?
You've been buying calls too?
Yeah, but I'm just talking about overall. Just
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I was just overall saying, how do you go deeper into support and resistance, or is that a big part of,
I do. So let me find one. Okay. Let me find a resistance. So here's support right here. See how the 8 and the 20 is kind of going sideways. Mm-hmm. So that's some support right here. It'll drop a little bit, but this right here is a level of support. Once it came down to this pivot, and it pivots up, because this right here actually can turn into what they call a demand zone. That's what you're talking about when you're talking about support. When you're talking about resistance, this right here could have been resistance right here because it was a higher high. So it was higher than this one. This could have been a resistance, but it went past it. It went through that resistance. That's resistance. When you're talking about where the pivot is, where the pivot starts, that's going to be a supply zone. Where the pivot starts down here, there's going to be a demand zone. And so that's the resistance, that's the support. I mean, I'm sorry, this is the support, and here's the resistance up at the top.
Yeah, that's really been helping me in my overall analysis.
Mm-hmm.
Just trying to find the support, because I can say, this, okay, it came down to support. Now it's going to bounce off of that support.
Right.
And now here's the entry part. I can ride this, this call up.
Where do you so where would you consider your support on? Give me give me the stock you trading?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter
Okay.
particularly. Like you can look right here, and if you open it up, what you got a chart on? Is that it's a 1 day?
No, I'm on the
Oh, that's
I'm on the daily.
Yeah, give me like a 5 day, and I'll just tell you what I've been doing. And again, it's very shallow, guys, very shallow. But
No, I don't like that.
I mean that's fine if you can
Just take it off the 15-minute. Maybe do the 1 hour.
Yeah, and you know what? I don't even know the difference. But I mean, the pip is a pip to me.
Yeah,
And
it spread. All it does, G, is spread them out so you can see it without spreading the screen all the time.
Okay. Well, I need to remember that because
Yeah, that's all it does. Like you'll see, it's just gonna give you some more space.
okay.
So there you go.
Okay, so the okay, on your chart, what the black is the trading day?
Yeah, see, this is kind of looking different for me
It's all good.
because I'm on something else.
It's at the bottom of the screen, I think. So
basically the support in kind of layman's terms, in my mind, I think of the support as the floor.
Mm-hmm.
And then resistance, I think of it as kind of like the ceiling.
That's correct.
And like when you was explaining in that first chart, when you was talking about it, you say this could have been resistance, but it broke through. So, and that's the thing about the market. I don't, as I get deeper and starting to understand the pips, I guess I'll be able to identify where the potential breakthroughs will go. But like, if you come over here to Wednesday, if you look at Wednesday and Thursday, the last 2 days on this chart.
Here. Yeah.
Yeah, these last 2 days. So if you come to Wednesday, look at the bottom, Jeff, you'll see Wednesday, right when the market opened at 9 o'clock or 9:30.
mm-hmm.
I would kind of say that's some the bottom of that big green pip. Yep.
There it is.
I would say that's some resistance. I'm sorry, support.
That's support.
That's
support.
That's a bottom, and it's beginning for that day. And as we look at the data that we have for all the way through trading day, and then the evening, that's another question why I got y'all on. How much leverage does the evening trading after hours have? Is that something that we should be calculating in our support and resistance and everything else that we do, or how much does it weigh?
It weighs pretty heavy, especially if it's around an announcement. So like if it's around any news that's coming out, if you're locked in a trade and some news come out about it, it's gonna change your resistance and support level overnight. It'll change before you can even get back in there, and that's why before pre-market, if you look at like the 8 o'clock hour for Thursday, you can see that if the 8 o'clock at 8 o'clock for Thursday, whatever happened over the course of that night changed the trajectory of the direction the stock was going in before you was able to get a trade off, before you was even able to get in the market. It had already dropped.
That's today. That was today.
Yeah.
Right there at 8 o'clock.
And then you know what that big green line is? If anybody looks at their phone, if anybody can look at their phone right now, Amazon stock soared 44% is the headline.
Yes.
That's that big long green line right there. You can look at your phone and see, you can correlate from your phone right now and look at that green line that change, just the news changed the trajectory of how the day was going to end.
Yeah.
And so what I do, that's why they tell you anytime around an earnings report, I won't even.
That happened at 4.
It happened at 4, right?
That happened at 4 o'clock.
After the market closed.
Mm-hmm.
So anybody that's stuck in there, like, so anybody that bought a call or got a or they have a call option out there at, say, what would be, say they had a call option out there at 35.06. Well, the stock is now at 36.67.
Cha-ching.
Cha-ching, unless you got caught and ran past, because now the only way that you can incorporate those profits is to buy that contract back and move it back. And I do want to say this.
This is the highest point it went. It closed right here.
Oh, it closed at 355. Okay.
Yeah, it closed right here.
Yep, and it's still trading up until 8 o'clock. So that makes
it's still trading.
It's still trading. Yeah, it's still got like an hour and 15 minutes.
So, okay, so that brings me to another question. It's a little bit off target, but I've been looking for this answer. If I have a trail stop on a stock and it stops me out of the trade because something happened at 2:30 in the morning, will it stop me out of that trade at 2:30, or will it stop me out of that trade wherever the market opens up in the morning? Do you know?
In the morning.
Oh man, what's the use of having a trail stop on it?
But because the trail stop it depends on how you set it up, G. Because when you set it up for day, you may not even have what is it set up for? A good until, like,
always,
good until close?
Always good to close. Always.
Good to close.
I needed to follow it, and I put a 5% or a 10% trail stop on it. And my question is, what happens if there's something happens at 2:30 and the stock drops lower than my trail stop? Will it stop me out of the trade then, or will I have to wait till 9:30 in the morning?
I think you have to wait till 9:30 in the morning. I don't even think the option.
And eat those
because
results.
options is not open.
No, what did it do?
Not an option. I had a trail stop on a stop.
I'm sorry. Okay.
So like if I so like, I'm looking at BNGO or FTFT right now, and it's pretty volatile. So I put a trail stop on it because I want to double the stock. But I was just like, what happens, man, in the middle of the night if that thing dropped beyond my trail stop?
It won't drop in the middle of the night, G. What'll happen is when in the early market trading, it'll grab it right then when the market opens back up. Ain't nothing going on at 2 in the morning.
That's what happened. Remember 9:30 in the morning.
Yeah, it'll grab it right at like 6:30. Soon as they can get it, soon as the market opens. Now you can't trade options, but those good to close orders are honored by the console. So they'll grab those as soon as they can. At 2:30 in the morning, nothing's happening in the market at all. So they don't have to deal with it. But they'll grab it right at 6:30. They will stop it.
Okay, and that makes sense because I got stopped out of a trade.
Yeah,
because my trail, and it was literally at 9:30 in the morning.
Yep.
I was like, man, they don't sold my stock. It must have dropped.
It dropped
5%.
Yeah,
right at 9:30.
Yeah, they grab it. They grab it right away. They grab those. They grab those early. They'll feel that before they feel just a regular order.
Okay.
Because those, those are contractual agreements that they agreed to. So they got people on those, man. Like, and I think it's set up like an algorithm where the computer does it. Like, it's not even in the human's hands at that point.
Okay. I'm sorry to get a little sidetracked, man.
You have the Asian market going on and while you sleep,
right?
But nothing is being done in the American markets.
Drop it. Guys.
Ooh, that makes sense.
All right, Jeff.
No, that's about that's pretty much about it. That's what I'm looking at now, man. I'm just trying to look at the chart. a whole lot more than what I had been as opposed to only looking at the fundamentals. I've been looking at the chart, but I'm just trying to look at it a whole lot more now and let's see what story it tells and try to get in it at the right time.
Okay, well, and I appreciate you going through this for us, Jeff. Can you find one? Can I still use your screen just to have a conversation? Can you find a stock that's got a gap in it for me? Let me see. Try Carnival maybe.
That's what I want to find. them
CCL.
gaps.
All right, let's see. Let's see if we have, let's try to find one, I guess. All right, so we do have one. Well, it looks like one.
Right on Wednesday.
Yeah.
After
hours Wednesday. Right on, Gerald. Hey, to the right. Go to the right, Jeff.
Or you can blow that up.
Yeah, or can you blow that section up?
Yeah, slide
From
to the
there?
right from there.
Yeah, from Wednesday to the end of to the right. If you can grab. Hey Jeff, I'm not good at it either, man.
I don't like that. That's too
much.
much. Yeah, I'm still trying to get this functionality right on this Thinkorswim.
Yeah, because I wanna show y'all something. Like, it's crazy that the more, yeah, I tell you what, I'm gonna just talk through it, Jeff.
Just click it and drag to the right. Now drag right. And then let go.
No, man. That ain't doing it.
Hey, hold down on it, Jeff, and drag to the right.
Yeah, long press and drag.
Keep
Okay,
going.
now go all the way. Go all the way.
Keep going.
Go all the way.
Now let it
all
go.
The way.
Let it go.
There you go.
Oh,
all right.
Nice. Okay.
All right. So, hey, Jeff, right at the biggest green symbol on the screen right now.
Right here?
Yep.
To the left.
All right. Now, you see that the pip to the left of that, it's like it's almost missing a pip there. Anybody can see that?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like so from that pip to the other one, Jeff, the big one. From that pip to that other one, Jeff, go back. Can everybody kind of see the snag? Like this, it feels like there's something missing there, right?
Yeah, it's a gap.
It does.
It's a gap. It's a gap. And when you see those, what they will tell you is all gaps get filled. And when you hear somebody say all gaps get filled, what they mean is, hey, Jeff, go to that small pip and go all the way to the right. Just go to the right. Just go straight. There you go, right there. All right, go back to that red one next to it. So when they say all gaps get filled, what they're saying is, and I hope that all you can visualize this, right? When a technical analysis trader saw that gap, he bought the stock immediately. But what he also knew was that stock was going to come back down to that same exact price and probably go lower, because that stock has to come back down to fill where that gap was missing. So if it gaps up like that, then the stock is going to do a reversal on you in the same day, possibly the next day, but the stock is going to reverse and come back down and go lower than where it skipped that gap. Can everybody see what it did? So it jumped up, and Jeff, we're going to talk numbers. So at the bottom of your screen, Jeff, there's a 19 over to the left.
Yeah, I see it.
All right, so go to that pip that's above that 19. To the left, to the other side. It's another 19 on there, to the left.
Over there where the gap is.
Where the gap is. Keep going.
Left.
You talking about this?
No, the gap.
No, where the gap is, under the 19.
Here's 19 right here.
And then there's another 19 on the left side.
It's another, all the way over to where you started, the gap. Yeah.
See the 19 there? All right. So you see over the 19 there, that's when the gap started. So this is very important, y'all, because this you can find this reversal in every I mean every. It's a 99.9% chance this is gonna happen. Hey Jeff, from that little pip, go from that little pip that's over the 19. Nope, not that 19, Jeff. It's another 19 on the left.
Oh, I see you now. I got it.
Okay.
My
All
bad.
right. From that pip at 19 to that pip next to the big green pip, that little space right there is going to get filled. It's gonna, and when I say it's gonna get filled, hey Jeff, if you go just straight to the right, start right there. This is when you got a pip over the 5, and you now have this pip in between 10 and 11. The very next pip is the pips that would have been in that place. When I say fill the gap, the stock has to come back down in order for the gap to be filled. Does everybody understand that? Am I explaining that? Am I explaining that right? When I say the gap has to be filled, that means that the stock has to come back down, and those pips that you see are missing are actually going to be shifted to the right.
Yeah, you can almost slide these all the way over to the gap. And
you can almost slide them over to the gap. But in order for the gap to be filled, if you understand what you're looking at, that means that the stock has got to come back down to where it missed the gap. It's like building steps, right?
So you're talking about this candlestick here and coming over to this candlestick here. That's the gap.
Okay, well, let's talk about this first. Go back over to the left, Jeff. I'm talking about that candlestick there and the one to the right of it. There's some candlesticks missing there.
Mm-hmm.
From that candlestick, now go back to the one next to the left. That one there. So we're just gonna talk about these two for a minute. That's your gap. You see how it just flattened out, and then it got to the big green candlestick?
Yeah.
The gap, so they call that an up gap. So they have up gaps and they have down gaps. An up gap is gonna reverse. An up gap is gonna fill in. So we look at a staircase. So you got your first step, your second step, and then you miss step 3 and 4, right?
Okay.
Okay, you can continue to run up those steps, but once you come back down, you're gonna have to fill in step 3 and 4 to come. And so what happens is you can almost look to the right. You can without Jeff moving the cursor, you can almost look to the right and look at that little red pip, and then look at that little green pip, and almost slide those pips over to the left, and they will fill in that spot. But when you have an uptick like that on a gap, that means that the stock is going to run for you, right? People, it's a buy-in signal for most, but they do know that it's got to come back down and replace those pips in those gaps that it missed when it shot up the way it did. Let's try AAL. Let's see if we can find a gap with AAL. But before we move on, does anybody, I really want you all to say something. Like, yes, you know, yes, you can see it.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yes, you understand what you're looking at, or no, I'm completely lost. I have no clue.
No, I totally understand what you're saying. I just have a question about is there any more consistency? Because my mind is thinking like, I'll let it peak and then you can potentially buy a put knowing that it's going to come down. Does it fill a gap and does it bounce off? Is that any kind of resistance, or does it always go beyond it? You know, what kind of consistency? You know, I just want to know some telltales.
So Gerald, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bounce it back to you on that, because what happens is I can pull up Disney. Actually, we're gonna do Disney next. So I'm telling you, Gerald, if I looked at 10 of them did this.
Okay. And now you know what I'm gonna do, because I'm so interested in this conversation.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go research gaps in the technical analysis. I need to know.
My question though, Delos, is on this is, when am I already in this trade? when this gap is happening, or when do I get in this trade? Because Go
So
ahead.
so Jeff, when you like for me, right? I got 3 screens. I kind of said this like when we first started having these meetings. I got like 3 different screens, and so I take my watch list, and you can chop this screen up right here. I think you can get up to like 6 different charts. So people that are sitting at home, they're looking at these charts. They're looking at the pips as they go. So most people can see that gap when it happens. And so to answer your question, you may not be in this trade, but a lot of times these gaps will happen around an earnings report. So most people, they'll kind of look for that. They'll sit on that date. Like matter of fact, I downloaded it now, but I think it was Jeff you threw a calendar out there.
Yeah, the Econo Day.
Right. So I can take information that I know is coming. So Apple just had their little day where they show their new stuff, right? A gap could have possibly happened on that day. I see a lot of gaps happening around earnings a lot. Like it'll happen a lot. Like it happens more than, the more I research it, the more I see it, the more I believe in it. You know what I mean? And so like I'm starting to teach myself like it's gonna reverse. And Alicia first showed us these gaps. I was like, I ain't gonna lie, I was kind of like, I don't know what she's talking about, but you know, I had to go look and research it for myself. And that's just how I'm wired though. Like I'll take something and just beat it to death. But that's why I'm an option nerd. But at the end of the day, if you go pull up, like let's pull up, I think Disney may have some gaps that we can look at and see.
So Delos, if you're watching the chart and you see a gap happening and it's in a buy trend,
yep.
When that gap happens and that the candle starts to light up, or you saying at that point it's a good time to purchase and then
Correct.
ride that wave up, and then when you see it reversing, go ahead and sell it?
Let it go. Yep.
So this is good for short terms.
Yep.
Not really options, but actually buying.
It's good for options if you want to buy a direction.
Day trade.
Or day traders, yeah. And people with small accounts, right? And like I always say, just continue to buy into good companies, right? None of these night flyers. But if you invest in the good companies, then you won't have a lot of that irky jerky movement. Those stocks pretty much kind of, you know, they kind of do what they do. But some of like, you know, Nikola and some of those kind, you know, you have a lot of irky jerky movement. And if you're looking at the screen right now, can anybody identify the gap that they're looking at right now?
Yeah, Tuesday
right there. Y'all see the gap?
Yeah, right there.
And do you see the uptrend?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then you see the stock just come back down. And Jeff, if you take that arrow and go straight across from where that gap happened at, you'll run right into another pip. And you know why you run into the pip? Because the stock has got to fill that gap back.
That's support too.
And Gerald, to answer your question, it broke right through the support to fill the gap. If you can identify the gap and you see the uptrend, everybody see the uptrend and everybody see what they just saw on their last screen. The stock come right back down to fill the gap.
So it went up and it filled the gap.
Yeah.
Support.
Did you do y'all see it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you look at days, I think we have this at a 5-day, 1 hour, right?
Mm-hmm.
So all this, when you see a gap, all this happened in 1 week. So you're not even holding on to the stock for a long time. But I'm glad everybody can identify the gap. And if you go over just 2 days, the stock came right back down to where it was bought at.
Now, let me add something if I can.
Uh-huh.
Let me add something if I can, because it's just gonna behoove us to get a little deeper in our technical analysis, because based on what you said, you identify that gap. And if I was like savvy, I would say, okay, that's a buy indicator. Boom, I'm in it. Okay. So then I ride it. I see it's the green got the game, like your boys say. The green got the ball. Then there's a red one, and then there's a strong green. And then once that big red elephant pip, that would have scared me.
Right.
Because I don't have enough knowledge.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then I would have said, man, there's my reversal. And I probably would have sold out of here.
And you know what, Gerald? And so what Gerald's talking about is, Jeff, if you can come back.
Yes.
So the first, okay, come over, Jeff, just a little bit more. Right there, go to the right. It looks to the right. One more, two more. Right there. What Gerald is talking about is right there. That at that moment right there, Gerald is like 1 million investors in the world. They sold out of that stock, because guess what Delos would have did?
That's why it's red.
That's why Delos would have sold it. Gerald would have sold it. Anybody that understands that it's got to come back down, I would have sold out. But I would have looked at that and said, you know what? I really did make enough. So if I bought it, so the gap started at, if you look over to the right, the price, it was at 183. The high would have been right at like 184, not right there, Jeff, but back where we would have sold it to the left, right? Yeah, right. That, not that one, but the very next one.
This one.
The very next one. Oh yeah, you know what? That would be, you're right. You're absolutely right.
This one right here.
Yep. So we would have been out of the game right around.
It finished down here. So I got a question. Is this, do you consider this a gap right here?
Where at? Where I gotta see your screen.
Where I had a cursor at right here.
Absolutely.
Okay, so with both of those gaps, this gap here and this gap over here,
Yep.
they both occurred when that 8 moving average crossed back over that 20. So it's trending.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, that's one of the values of the moving average. It crossed back over right at that point.
So what do you mean when you say it's trending?
It's starting to trend going bullish.
Okay,
So look at the moving average. It kept going up, even though that, like you said, you would have got out, and most of us would have got out. I'd have got out too.
You know what? And I need to correct myself. I usually wait for that next pip, and if I'd have saw that strong green pip,
You would have stayed in it?
I probably would have stayed in. So I do correct myself. I usually wait, and I'm staring at it because I'm like, yo, if it's another red strong, I'm out.
I'm gone. Yep.
Right.
But and the significance of this is even the new gap that Jeff just pointed out to the right, you see that the stock reversed and came back to fill that gap.
Yeah.
I'll
Right
tell you
here.
what, let's go to, I mean, you can see it. I just want you all to start like utilizing this to take advantage of some gains. Hey, go to AAL. Let's just see. We can just go see if we can find it. We can find it. We just getting better. That's all.
Yeah, this is good.
Don't really see a gap.
Don't see any.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's try another one. Let's try.
Hey Delos. Hey,
Hey,
on that graph right there. So one thing I've been learning in Forex is see where I'm not sure which line is what, but is your green the 20?
That's Jeff. Jeff.
Which green?
Your green line, is that the 20 moving average or your 50?
Which
No, this right. I got the blue line. Oh, you talking about this line here?
Yeah.
That's the 20.
And then your pink is at the 50?
Yes.
Okay, so what I've learned is when the 20 and the 50 cross, and it's in an uptrend, it's in a buy trend. If you look at the pips, it's when that crosses, you're in an uptrend.
Mm-hmm.
Almost 199.9% of the time. So if you see the 20 and the 50 cross, you're going into a buy trend.
Into a buy trend.
And you can ride that up. Now, if it's going into a sell trend, if it's going down, like all the way over to the right, when it crosses that 20 and the 50, you'll see it's going in a buy trend. You
Mhm.
can ride that down for a while. So
Yes.
anytime your 20 and 50 cross, whatever direction it's going in is going to, it's telling you it's going into that trend for a while. So you can pick those pips up.
That's good. That's good stuff. And that, and I almost have to put that in my, hold on. Put that in my phone. Cause what I do is I'll go and research all these, like, cause like we only getting better, but what Dana just said, I mean, hey, matter of fact, hey, Jeff, go to the Apple or go, AAL, or not AAL, I'm sorry, AAPL, and see if we can find a gap with them or what Dana just discussed. And if you look to the right, what Dana said is true. And if you look to the left here, this little scoop here, what Dana just said is true.
Right here.
Yep.
So Dana, you are you using the 20 and the 50?
Yep, the 20 and the 50.
Okay.
And if you look all the way to the right, almost at the end of the chart, it's going in a downward, it's going in a sell trend. As soon as it crosses, you'll see all those red pips. You can grab all of those.
Mm-hmm.
And so since this is good stuff, right? So we have an up gap, and then you also have a down gap. The down gap is reverse of an up gap. An up gap means the stock is going to rise and come back down to fill the gap. A down gap means that the stock is going to rise back up to refill the gap that it left up top. Everybody understand that?
Yep.
No?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
let's try to find one. Let me see.
Let's look in the video.
Okay, cool. All right, well, it's a small one. It's not big, but it's a gap. It's a down gap, right? I wouldn't even say there. Go to the right some more, Jeff.
Oh, here you go, right here.
Yeah, right there. If everybody, that's a down gap. Now on the down gap, the stock is going to go down. It jumped down, right? So the down gap, it goes down for a little bit, and then you can automatically see that green pip came right back up past where the gap started to refill the gap. Like it always comes back. So if and this is considered a down gap. It's opposite of an up gap. So an up gap, the stock is trending up, and the stock has got to fall back down in order for the gap to fill. On a down gap, the stock is going down, but the stock is going to rise back to refill the gap that it dropped from. Everybody see that? It's just reverse. And then you also see what Dana, just here to the left, you can really see what Dana just described right there. Perfect example. Prime example of what Dana just discussed.
Yeah, this was definitely in an uptrend, going right along the lines of the moving averages.
And so if you want to know if you use the options, right, then that's definitely a time to, stick you a put out there, because if the stock is going up, I'll sell a put all day long because the stock is going to move away from me, leaving my contract worthless. If the stock is going down, then I'm gonna do my calls real close to the strike price, the current strike price, because it's going in the downward trend, leaving me standing closest to the pin, but still holding my 100 shares. Does that make sense? And will it be best like if we had like some? I may have to just start doing like some diagrams so we can show the arrows and what you should be thinking when you see certain stuff. But it stands true though. Like even what Dana was just saying, you can see it, and you should be able to see that on any stock, right? Not just the ones we just picking stuff now, and you can see that it holds true. But you know, up gap, the stock's coming back down. On a down gap, the stock's coming back up.
All right. Okay, I'm gonna have to cut you guys loose, but y'all have a good breakfast, man. I hate I'm gonna miss it.
All
Oh,
right, Billy.
well, Billy, you be careful out there on that road, man.
Safe travel,
yeah.
brother.
Yep, I'm gonna run down there real quick, get my son straight, and bring some stuff back, and I'll be back Sunday.
All right, well, you be
All right.
careful out there.
Safe
right, now.
travels, Billy.
All right, everybody take care.
All right.
Billy,
So
he
y'all,
going to watch
I mean,
the draft. Billy, ain't
what
he
say?
going to watch the NFL draft.
Is the draft on coming on?
Yeah, it's coming on at 8 o'clock, and they just about to do the first pick.
Uh-oh, who going first?
Trevor Lawrence, Clemson.
Oh boy. They gonna send him where he gonna get racked up. He going to the Jets.
No, he going to. I think the Jaguars got the first pick, and I just learned that they got Urban Meyer, the head coach, used to be from
Yes.
Ohio State.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, come on, man.
It's gonna be a good football season though.
Yeah. Where is this at? They doing it in Cleveland?
You think Trevor Lawrence going number one?
Yeah, I know. Trevor Lawrence going number one.
You think he all that?
Huh?
You think he all that?
I think he nice, man. He nice.
Okay.
He nice. Look like sunshine. Sunshine off of the Remember the Titans.
So I think, hey guys, if you all wanted to drop and enjoy the rest of your evening, just check on. So I think it's only us four on here. Me, Jeff, Gerald, Jeanette, and Dana. I think everybody else dropped.
Yeah, that's all we got. No, this was good, man, because I'm telling you, man, it's my technical analysis is just kind of trial and error. And I've been saying for a minute that I've got to take a beginner's course. I know I'm gonna learn so much more. And just in this short period here, you just sparked my interest on that gap.
Yeah.
Those, as long as you got those indicators, man, and they're consistent, and anything over, 50, 60% is consistent. You know?
And Gerald, you can just go to any random stock, man, and find a gap and watch it. And you'd be like, wow. Yep. But I'm learning some new stuff, man, from some of these older gentlemen that's been doing it for a little lot longer than me. But they, basically, and a lot of them so patient, man. I got a guy, he's got 14,000 shares of Carnival, Gerald. And he didn't put his options trade out there till Thursday at like 2:45. I was like, why you wait so long? He said, man, I'm trying to catch a fish with a worm, man, not a loaf of bread. Trying to get his movement. But yeah, we got a few things we're gonna work on. Aunt Jeanette, I'll text you maybe Monday on maybe putting a timeline email out there for everybody to sign the paperwork. And outside of that, everybody have a blessed rest of the weekend. Jeff, I'll see you Saturday, man.
Yeah, I'll see you Saturday, man. Good stuff.
I'm gonna text you.
Y'all enjoy, man. Be safe.
All right, man.
Delos, you'll be hearing from me. I'm in recovery mode. I
All
always
right.
come to you when I need rescuing.
Hey, well, come on, Dana. We'll I got parachutes with your name on it.
Hey, Delos, what time we meeting, man?
We probably need to meet at 10, Jeff, to make sure we get a table. I know they try to spread us out, but it's a nice little farm to table restaurant. I think you'll really like it. We can sit.
And what's the name of it again?
Prosino's. I'm gonna text it all to you.
Yeah, text it to me.
Okay.
All right, brothers. Enjoy.
All right,
All right. Chat y'all later.
Good
All
night.
right.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
everybody.